मोरे मॅडम,
हा हा सर.
आवाज येतोय?
हो येतोय सर. तर होत आहेत सगळेजण जॉईन. 4:11 आपण सुरू करूया.
हा बोला.
4:11 वाजता सुरू करूया म्हटलं.
ठीक आहे, चालेल.
हो, अनिका मॅडम पण जॉईन झाल्या.
ओके ओके.
फक्त 5-7 मिनिटं वाट बघू. 30-35 जण जॉईन झालेत. एक 5 मिनिटं वाट बघू आणि चालू करू सर.
ओके, चालतं.
हो हो सर.
दुसरी गाडी
आरसी सर.
सुरुवात करा.
हा?
सुरुवात करा.
हो, हो.
मॅडम माझा आवाज येतो का?
हो, येतोय. हा, तुम्हाला येतोय का? आरसी सर.
हा येतोय मी.
हा चालतंय. हो चालतंय चालतंय. एक 5 मिनिटं वाट बघूयात आणि सुरू करू.
ओके. गुड मॉर्निंग एव्हरीवन. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Hello, participants.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Very good morning. All you are welcome in the national conference organized by Department of English and IQAC of Shivaji College, Renapur. I request all the registered participants to join the national conference as early as possible, because we would like to finish our schedule within a time. This conference is multilingual, so I can speak in Marathi, English and Hindi also. welcome. Kokle sir, welcome. You are welcome. Joshi sir, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Pandey sir, welcome. Welcome, sir. Dr. Yamai Sheikh, sir, welcome.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning. You are welcome in the national conference.
Good morning and welcome all of you.
Madam, wish you happy Women's Day, madam.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
More, madam.
Hi.
Please change your banner's background, madam. Background color is very dark.
Okay. I will try. Sheikh sir, it is not possible now
Okay.
to change
No
the
problem.
banner color. Okay.
Okay.
Only 33 participants are joined.
Let us start, madam.
Madhavi Nikam madam is shortly joining. And after her joining,
I'm already in.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Should we start?
Yeah,
Okay,
please.
why not, ma'am? Shall I start?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, ma'am. Now I am starting the online national conference organized by Department of English and IQAC of Shivaji College, Renapur. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Rajaram Jadhav. Welcomes all the participants at national conference. On behalf of the Department of English and IQAC, Shivaji College, Renapur, I heartily welcome all the participants and dignitaries from different states. I would like to tell you all the participants that many of us have joined in this conference from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, and Assam. Really, this is a national level conference. So, may I request Dr. Awasthi sir, the dynamic principal of our college, I have the chair as a chairperson of inauguration session of the conference. I request Awasthi sir. Awasthi sir, have you joined?
Thank you.
Okay, sir, thank you. I would like to inform all the participants of the conference that today's keynote speaker and inaugurator is Professor Dr. Madhavi Nikam Madam. She is Professor and Head PG Department of English RTK Taleja College, Ulhasnagar, Mumbai. She is Academic Council member of Mumbai University. Now she is working as a secretary of BUCTA, that is Bukta. She is unopposed secretary of Mumbai University. She is a research guide and produced 11 PhD candidates successfully. Professor Nikam ma'am was the editor of 2 international journals, that is Literary Insight and Contemporary Discourse. Even she has organized many international and national conferences and for her achievement, she got many awards. Now, may I request Dr. Kranti More, Madam, convener of the online national conference, for an introductory speech. Madam?
Yes. Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, one and all. Myself, Dr. Kranti More, convener of this online national conference, welcomes all of you. Today, we are going to attend one day online national conference on contribution of women in Indian freedom struggle. On the occasion of the auspicious day where world is celebrating Women's Day also. So, first of all, I wish all of you the happy Women's Day. It is my prime duty to welcome and put vote of thanks to Honorable Dr. Madhavi Nikam ma'am for accepting our invitation without any hesitation. That is most important thing. And present here as the inaugurator. She is most dynamic and well-known personality all over Maharashtra as well as out of Maharashtra also. I also welcome the chairperson, Dr. Awasthi sir, principal of our college, for being here and always encourage us for such type of innovative programs. And last not but least, all of you, because without your actively participation in the conference, it might not be possible. So I thank one and all for your trust and support to us. When I was thinking about the celebration of Women's Day, I had an idea about this conference because from last year we are also celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and in this scenario where everyone is thinking about or remember about various freedom fighters, but unfortunately I thought the women freedom fighters left aside, and therefore we Department of English had a discussion and decided to throw light on the unsung glory of women freedom fighters in Indian freedom struggle. So, and there is also the definition of literature is the mirror of the society where we can see our own face in it. The every subject is also the subject of literature, and therefore we decided to organize such the unsung glory as our theme, that is the contribution of women in the Indian freedom struggle. In the outset of my introductory speech, I would like to I would like to highlight the objectives of the conference. The first objective is to highlight the contribution of women in Indian freedom struggle. That is in the theme itself. The second one is, and it is important, to highlight unsung sacrifice and courage of women in Indian freedom struggle particularly. And the third is to highlight the tortures and exploitations and hardships they means women faced to earn us the freedom. Without mentioning the contribution of women, the history of Indian freedom struggle would be incomplete. And so we organize or we decide to take such type of theme as our national conference. Women's participation in India's freedom struggle began as early as in 1817. Though we always say that 1857 was the first, but before that, it means before 30 years of 1857 revolt, it was begun and by the women itself, where Bhima Bai Holkar fought bravely against the British colonel Malcolm and defeated in guerrilla. Many women, including Rani Chanamma of Kittur, Rani Begum Hazrat Mahal of Awadh, fought against British East India Company in 19th century. That is 30 years before the first independent war or the Great Revolt of 1857. It was invited and admiration even leaders of the revolt. Rani of Ramgarh, Rani Jindal Kaur, Rani Tesbai, Rani Baizabai, Chauhan Rani, Tapaswini Maharani daringly led their troops into the battlefield. Women who joined the national movement were belonged to educated and liberal families as well as from the rural area and from all walks of life, all castes, religions, and communities also. So, we thought this is the national conference would be a great platform to bring together the writers from each subject and every discipline. And it is national, so from every corner of the India. Therefore, we made it multidisciplinary as well as multilingual. कारण साहित्य हा समाजाचा आरसा असतो असं म्हणत असताना त्यात इतिहास, भूगोल, अर्थशास्त्र, राज्यशास्त्र, विज्ञान आणि तो प्रत्येक विषय जो मानवाशी निगडीत आहे तो येतो. त्यामुळे भाषेचं बॅरियर न ठेवता तीनही भाषेतून आलेले आपले शोधनिबंध खरोखरीच या राष्ट्रीय कॉन्फरन्सचं महत्व अधोरेखित करतात आणि स्वातंत्र्याचा अमृत महोत्सव खऱ्या अर्थाने आपण वैचारिक दृष्टीने आज साजरा करतोय असं सुद्धा म्हणता येईल. आणि खरंच एवढे सगळे पार्टिसिपंट्स जे की मेल आहेत, खरं तर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन करण्याचा विषय नाहीये, परंतु फिमेलचं किंवा विमेनचं कंट्रीब्युशन वरती ते लिहित आहेत. त्या निमित्ताने मी हे सांगू शकते की आज तुम्ही लिहिलेला प्रत्येक शोधनिबंध आजपर्यंत विमेन्स डेला आम्हाला ज्या ज्या काही शुभेच्छा मिळाल्या असतील त्याच्यामधल्या सगळ्यात चांगल्या प्रतीच्या शुभेच्छा या आज तुमच्या या पद्धतीच्या शोधनिबंधाने आम्हाला मिळाल्यात असं मी अगदी जाहीरपणे इथे सांगते आणि आपल्या सगळ्यांचं ऋण व्यक्त करते. अगदी कमी वेळात आपण यासाठी आम्हाला एवढा भरून प्रतिसाद दिला. माझे सगळे विद्यापीठातील मित्रमैत्रिणी आणि RCOC मध्ये भेटलेले मित्रमैत्रिणी. खरं तर RCOC हा जरा सध्याचा अवघड विषय चाललाय, थोडेसे प्रॉब्लेमॅटिक असा शब्द तो आहे, परंतु या RCOC मुळे भारतभर पसरलेले माझे मित्रमैत्रिणी जसे की आग्रावरून आमच्या प्रीती मॅडम जॉईन झालेले आहेत, तामिळनाडूमधून आमचे महेश सर आहेत, मध्य प्रदेश, आंध्र प्रदेश, तेलंगणा इथून सगळेजण आलेले आहेत आणि खऱ्या अर्थाने आभासी आपण ज्याला म्हणतो हे आभासी न राहता आपल्यामधलं अंतर कमी करणारा असा प्लॅटफॉर्म या या नॅशनल कॉन्फरन्समध्ये आणि ऑनलाईन मोडमुळे आपण सगळे एकमेकांच्या इतक्या जवळ इतक्या कमी वेळामध्ये येऊ शकलो. त्याबद्दल मी आपल्या सर्वांचे खूप खूप आभार व्यक्त करते. हा कार्यक्रम करण्यासाठी किंवा हे कॉन्फरन्स जेव्हा लक्षामध्ये आलं, अगदी कमी वेळ आमच्याकडे होता. सन्माननीय प्राचार्यांनी आम्हाला लगेचच परवानगी दिली. सन्माननीय घाडगे सर जे सतत आम्हाला नेहमी सगळ्याच गोष्टींच्या मध्ये सहकार्य करत असतात, अगदी 1 दिवसामध्ये विद्यापीठाकडून परवानगीचं पत्र त्यांनी आम्हाला आणून दिलं. माझे दोन्ही सहकारी ज्यांचा कसल्याच पद्धतीचा नकार येण्याचं काही कारण नसतं, डॉक्टर RC जाधव सर आणि भुजबळ सर, नेहमी वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीच्या अशा इनोव्हेटिव्ह प्रॅक्टिसेस मध्ये जी काही कल्पना आम्ही मी मांडेल त्याला पटकन हो म्हणणारे शेख सर, वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीच्या सगळे जे काही ऑनलाईन प्लॅटफॉर्म्स आणि ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी आहेत त्याच्याबद्दलची माहिती देणारे कुलाळ सर, नागरगोजे सर आणि IQAC चे कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर PT पवार सर यांनी सुद्धा मला या सगळ्या गोष्टींच्यासाठी खूप सहकार्य केलं. अतिशय कमी वेळेमध्ये सगळ्या पार्टिसिपंट पर्यंत आम्ही त्यामुळे जाऊन पोहोचू शकलो आणि मला सांगायला अत्यंत आनंद होतो आहे की जवळपास 75 ते 80च्या आसपास पेपर आम्हाला प्राप्त झालेले आहेत. हे सगळं अगदी इतक्या कमी वेळेमध्ये खरं तर आभासी पटलामुळेच होऊ शकलं हे सुद्धा आपल्याला मान्यच करावं लागेल. कारण हार्ड कॉपीमध्ये तुम्ही माझ्यापर्यंत हे पोहोचवा असं जर आपण पूर्वीच्या ह्याच्यासारखं बघत बसलो असतो तर इट वॉज नॉट पॉसिबल ॲट ऑल. देअरफॉर हे आभासी न राहता किंवा हे व्हर्च्युअल न राहता खऱ्या अर्थाने आज आपण एकमेकांच्या समोर आहोत याचं सुद्धा श्रेय किंवा याचं सुद्धा महत्व ही कॉन्फरन्स अधोरेखित करते असं मी इथं अगदी नम्रपणे नमूद करते. हे सगळं करण्याच्या पाठीमागे माझा मुलगा आदित्य सुद्धा 4 दिवसांच्या पासून माझ्या या सगळ्या प्रक्रियेमध्ये आहे, त्याचं सुद्धा खरं तर मी आभार व्यक्त करते. अभी मराठी आ ही चुकी है तो हिंदी तो हमारी सबकी प्रिय भाषा है and the conference is multilingual. So आप सब इसमें शामिल हुए. आप सभी के शोध निबंध हमारे ईमेल पर आ चुके हैं. कुछ ही दिनों में आप तक वो पहुंच जाएंगे और इसके लिए जो आपने किया, जो सराहना आपने कम से कम दिनों में मेरे कार्यक्रम में की, इसके लिए मैं आपके सबके आभार ज्ञापित करती हूँ और अंत में मेरी भूमिका से मैं मेरे शब्दों को विराम देती हूँ. सर प्लीज कुणाचं तरी हे चालू आहे, सगळ्यांनी आपले माइक थोडेसे म्यूट करा. अंत में मेरी एक कविता से मैं अपने शब्दों को विराम देती हूँ.
Ma'am, you are not audible, ma'am.
मॅडम तुमचा आवाज येत नाहीये मॅडम.
येतोय का आता?
ओके.
हॅलो.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. So I would like to conclude my speech with the Hindi poem which was written by me. मैं एक स्त्री, मैं भी स्वतंत्रता सेनानी. क्या हुआ कि मैं कभी इतिहास के पन्नों पर सराही नहीं गई हूँ, हर समय में मैं सबला देश का सम्मान करते आई हूँ। आज नहीं बल्कि सैकड़ों सालों से लड़ती आई हूँ। देश के स्वतंत्रता के साथ साथ खुद के अस्तित्व के लिए जूझती रही हूँ। यहाँ की मिट्टी को सम्मान देने वाली मैं पिछड़ती आई हूँ, लेकिन खुद पर गर्व है कि स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की नींव मैं झांसी की लक्ष्मी बनकर रख पाई हूँ। मुझे डर नहीं था अपनी मौत से, न वर्तमान न भविष्य में होगा, बल्कि तिरंगा बने कफन मेरा यही अरमान कैप्टन लक्ष्मी सहगल बनकर पूरा कर पाई हूँ। कैप्टन लक्ष्मी सहगल बनकर पूरा कर पाई हूँ। Again, I welcome all of you in this online national one day conference, which is related to the theme contribution of women in Indian freedom struggle. Once again, I thank you, all of you, for your unconditional support. Thank you. Thank you very much. RC Jadhav sir.
आरसी माईक अनम्यूट करून बोला.
Jadhav sir, please your mic unmute. RC Jadhav sir, please your mic
Okay.
unmute.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Are you audible now? Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir, you
Hello?
are audible now. RC sir,
Yes, yes,
you
yes.
please begin.
Yes, many participants raised a question. The contribution of women in Indian freedom struggle. This is a historical theme, but you may understood that literature reflects history. History and literature can go hand in hand. Thank you, ma'am. Now, may I request Professor Dr. Madhavi Likha, ma'am, for delivering keynote speech and inauguration of national conference.
Thank you so much, Jadhav sir. May I please request the participants to kindly mute themselves so that even I'll be able to concentrate on what I'm saying. So at the outset, let me thank the organizers of this one-day national conference on contribution of women in Indian freedom struggle. The principal of the college, Shivaji Mahavidyalaya, Renapur, Dr. Rajendra Avasthi sir, Head of English Department, Dr. Kranti More, Madam, her colleagues, and my dear friends. I would also like to definitely mention the name of Dr. Ramakant Ghadge sir, who is here. I can see him here. And all the others, I think I know many of them. I could also see the chat box, which is full of why it should be in Hindi and English and not only in Marathi. I do understand you all belong to different states and states of India, and that is why it becomes difficult when you are attending a conference and the speaker is going on in Marathi or a language which you don't understand. Okay. Now, friends, the ball is already set rolling by Dr. Kranti. She has spoken very well about the contributions done by women to Indian freedom struggle. But let me first, before I begin, first of all, let me congratulate all the women out there. Maybe many of them are participants here as well for attending this conference, for joining this and creating a niche for themselves, carving a niche for themselves, their own identity. Because I think every day is a woman's day. And every woman's day. So I don't know when we are celebrating this, whether I should say this, but I would wish all the women out there the courage, the valor, the strength, the determination, the grit, and moreover, the confidence to do something or to do what they really want to, or to do what they really desire to do. And I think the wings of fire that science has given, or the wings of fire that all of us have given, because I believe that we are two wheels of the same wheel cart which we are trying to drive ahead successfully. Going back to what the history has done, because somebody rightly pointed out just now, the theme is historical, or the theme is based on history, so how it can be literature. But let me tell you, friends, we should be able to distinguish between the fact and fiction. And when we are not able to distinguish between the fact and fiction, because many a times fictitious history is also written, and that is why to understand what is the fact and what is fictitious, we have to have such conferences, such seminars, such on-trial deliberations, wherein we'll be able to discuss many such aspects which we are ignoring. I'm not saying we are ignorant, I'm saying we are ignoring. I would request Jadhav sir to make me the co-host so that I can share my slide. Before I share my slide, I would just like to speak my heart out before going into the historical aspect of what we are going to discuss here today. Though many of you are from the other states apart from Maharashtra, I thought when I got this opportunity, when Dr. Kranti called me up and said that this would be the theme of the one online conference, and I just gave it a thought that many a times what we do is we speak only of the national leaders, or we speak of, as Madam has mentioned, Aruna Asaf Ali, or we speak of Captain Sehgal, or we speak of all those very eminent contributors to history or to the freedom struggle. But unfortunately, all those women who have also contributed the squirrel's share, we forget them. We tend to not even mention them. And since I belong to the state of Maharashtra, I thought this is a very good opportunity for me to reflect what the Indian women, especially from the state of Maharashtra, has done. Why should I leave them behind? Because none of us ever discuss about what has happened in our own individual states. Such conferences, such national conferences, or such platforms, I think is an opportunity for all of us to put on record what our women of our own state or our neighborhood or from our own fraternity has done. That is why my attempt in this conference would be to highlight women from the state of Maharashtra as well as those national level leaders, figures, contributors who have been very determined, who have been very focused, who have been torchbearers till now and have led us through the dark, through the thick and thin, and brought us to the broad daylight, wherein all of us can now enjoy the liberty, the freedom, the independence, and moreover, I think the right to be a human. From philanthropic point, I'm speaking because I just want to build a thread between history and literature now. Because in the chat box I could see that comment. So kindly do not be under the impression that we are just going to speak on one perspective and the contribution of women from the historical perspective. It has to. There are many dimensions to one thing, and we are supposed to understand those dimensions. Until and unless we don't understand, Jadhav sir, would you please mute yourself? Yes, thank you so much. So until and unless we don't try to explore, until and unless we don't try to understand this, I think we'll not be able to pass it on to the next generation as well. So let us come together on such platforms where each one of us will be able to pass on to the next generation, be it a boy or a girl. I'm not here to make any gender discrimination, though it is said in the conference, contribution of women, because it's an we are celebrating Women's Day today. But I'm not making any gender discrimination at this moment. If we have to pass all this, what our ancestors have done, what the pioneers have done, I think it is a responsibility of this teaching fraternity to pass it on to the next generation in the classrooms, whereas we are supposed to motivate them as to how to go about, because patriotism, nationalism will not be born all of a sudden. It has to be imbibed. It has to be taught. Patriotism also is something to be imbibed in the child at a very early age. And how, as a teacher, we would do it. That should be the concern, I feel. So let me come to my presentation. As I have already said, I will not be talking much about the national leaders. In the beginning, I'll talk about those unforgotten, unsung, somewhere the images which have become blur in our memories of those women who have really contributed state-wise. I'm focusing because I just have 30 minutes. I'm just focusing on the state of Maharashtra. Kindly excuse me for that. Maybe when we have many such conferences, every time we can take 2-3 states and then discuss. But for the time being, I'm just discussing the state of Maharashtra and other national leaders or national women at the national front who have really immensely contributed to the history and immensely contributed through literature, because they have wrote their own biographies. We have many writers, many historians who have also given us their biographies. And that is why definitely literature and history can go hand in hand. So I'm just sharing the slide. Give me a moment. Is it visible?
No, ma'am. Yes, it's visible now.
It's visible.
Yeah.
Okay. The unsung women freedom fighters from the state, and my focus would be in the state, on the state of Maharashtra and beyond. I'll be going beyond as well, beyond the state. Now, friends, this canon of or this galore of the braves that we have in front of us, this is an unending list. This list will go on and on and on. Every woman who is at the threshold, inside or outside the threshold, always tries to prove her, always fights. And this fight is at times with her own self, with the system, with the customs, the norms, the taboos, the tradition. And at times, it's also political, it's also economic, it's also social, it's cultural, and beyond it. So there are many such names who are torchbearers to all of us as human beings. I'm not saying as women or as girls. I'm just saying torchbearers to all of us as human beings. Like what dedication, what sacrifice, what determination, what grit can be. Let us see. Now, this one picture which really fascinated me, all these pictures I have definitely taken from the net, it goes unsaid. Now, this very first picture which really appealed to me when I was preparing for this presentation was the beginning of Quit India movement. Why? Because you can see the gathering. Though we are talking of, maybe 75 years back, you can just see that the gathering is of all the women who are following their culture. Their heads are covered, but they are sitting because they want the freedom. They want to understand what it is to be with men, to work shoulder, like be with men, work shoulder to shoulder, and fight for their own rights and independence. So that is why I chose this picture on the very first slide, apart from that galaxy of women fighters who have fought for all of us. And I think all of us are definitely indebted to them. The debt can never be repaid. The gratitude cannot be expressed just in mere words. We have to go beyond that. Maybe our actions would help us repay the gratitude, but only in inches and bits. Not wasting much time, because I know that the time frame has to be followed. Now, why did not I take any other very significant contributor or a very renowned personality, women personality here? Because I just wanted us not to forget this contributor, who is Rukmabai Raut. Now, who is Rukmabai Raut? As I've put on the slide, she is the first woman doctor to practice medicine in British India. And she staunchly opposed child marriage as well. Now, Rukmabai Raut was the daughter of Pandurang and Jayavanti, who was born in the state of Maharashtra in a Marathi family. Friends, I'm absolutely sorry I won't be able to see your chat because I'm sharing the screen. After whatever I speak, if you have any queries, we may discuss, or we can deliberate, or whatever you want to add. There's so much to be added. There is so much to be written, I know, but within the span of 30 minutes, I don't think so I'll be able to cover that. Okay, so Rukmabai Raut was the daughter of Pandurang and Jayavanti, was born in the state of Maharashtra in a Marathi family in 1864. Why am I focusing on the time frame as well? Please just try to imagine a woman born in 1864 became the first woman doctor to practice medicine in British India. And as it can be reflected, I'm just highlighting the very important aspect of this woman, this warrior, this fighter, because if you look at the age, okay, she lost her father at the age of 2 when her mother was 17. So her mother also had a child marriage. She also had a child marriage, and she had a very bad experience, or you may say a brutal relationship with her husband. So she set out to England to practice medicine in 1889, where she received this doctorate. Okay, she became the doctor of medicine in 1894 from London School of Medicine. Okay, and she also studied at the Royal Free Hospital. Now, what was her contribution? I think apart from anything else, I feel the motivation, the exemplary dedication that she had for education, and to go abroad and get herself education also would have been a source of inspiration to the million women out there, the million girls, to oppose child marriage and to get education. So contributions of such women like Rukmabai Raut or many other who have really gone unnoticed or are not even jotted down in the descending history that we have at this moment, I feel this is something which should really make us think as to where we are, where we stand, and where we have begun. If you have to go back to mythology, if you want to go back to mythology and then speak about Gargi and Maitreyi, definitely you will have a different outlook towards women. Because even, see, the medieval India did not give that much importance to the bravery of women or the courage of women. But apart from that, if you go to mythology, if you go back to the mythical age, you'll realize
Gargi and
had got
Maitreyi.
the
Definitely, you'll have a different outlook towards women.
Okay, so there
Because
are many
even
such,
see the medieval India
intricacies
did not
which are
give
there
that
when
much
we are
importance
discussing
to
this issue of
the bravery of
contribution
women.
of women in Indian freedom struggle. Apart from Rukmabai Rao, we all have a much revered name, a much respectable name in none other than Anandi Gopal Joshi and Kadambini Ganguly, who received the medical degrees in 1886. Unfortunately, Anandi Gopal or Anandi Joshi passed away at an early age. She passed away just when she was 22 years old, so she could not actually uh, do the service to women which she had dreamt of. But she completed her education. She became the doctor, and even Kadambini Ganguly are the first Indian women practitioners. So the only difference that you will have is that Dr. Ganguly opted to practice medicine, making Rukmabai the second Indian woman doctor. Okay, with both the degrees, the Indian as well as the foreign degree. Now, these contributions that we are discussing, the medical or even the social, for example, the taboo that women should be married at an early age and at the age of, 5, 10, 6, or even cradle marriages we have had or heard about. Our ancestors used to tell us these stories. So opposing child marriage in itself was a contribution, a great contribution, and making this floor more clean and more firm for the women to come to educate themselves was also the highest sort of contribution any woman could have really given. I'm not going into detail much with these slides because, as I said, I have prepared a lot many slides, and I don't think so I'll be able to cover in the stipulated time frame. So just excuse me for that. Okay, so I'll move to the next slide. Now, the unforgettable from the state of Maharashtra. The first, again, the name which came to my mind was the Padma Bhushan Srimati Tarabai Modak. Tarabai Modak was a prominent freedom fighter and a social activist from Maharashtra, and she played a very significant role in the salt satyagraha. Friends, it was not an easy task to bring out women from the four walls and make them participate in any such political and social activism. If I have to go back to the colonized India, if I have to go back maybe 100 or 150 years back, and try to understand the sort of oppression, the sort of suppression, victimization, humiliation, pain, suffering, all these things, I don't want to use these words at all because we have come of ages, we have come beyond it. Why do we call ourselves marginalized, or why should we call ourselves weak? We are not. We are no more because of the contribution of such women activists, such women freedom fighters, because a woman who could participate in salt satyagraha and also motivate other women and inspire other women to join these movements like Quit India movement in 1942. I feel these names will always be written in golden letters in the history of Maharashtra, the state of Maharashtra and India. There are many such names which I should thank Dr. Kranti for choosing this topic, because I too had my history was blurred. When I thought about this topic, I thought, yes, let me do it, because I also wanted to brighten this side of my own knowledge, wherein I was also forgetting many things. Won't go into much detail. If you all want, I can share the slides with you whenever you all want, and we can. Sorry, this remained blank. Okay, so with the education or the movements, the political movement, the social movement, I was just trying to connect this Quit India movement now. Now, as you have seen, Tarabai Modak's contribution to Quit India movement. Similarly, you have this voice, Usha Mehta. Usha Mehta played a very pivotal role, a very significant, a very prolific role when it came to Quit India movement. Now, as I have put on the slide, you can see her. She was the longest survivor of the freedom fight. So, Gandhiji referred women as disciplined soldiers of Indian freedom. What a wonderful definition! Amazing definition. He says women are disciplined soldiers of Indian freedom, and I feel the discipline or the you may say, the mannerism in which a woman can fight, the multidisciplinary things and the multi actions, or what you also call as multitasking. Women women have been has been doing it, or a woman has been doing it from ages together. uh, as you know, she really has multifaceted, multi-talented, and multi vocal she is at times on various subjects at a time. Gandhiji, in his autobiography, also has references to the contribution of Sarojini Naidu. Okay, Annie Besant, Dr. Annie Besant. You have so many examples, very prolific, very significant, and moreover, I feel these women activists or these women have contributed immensely, because the age in which they contributed, okay, was not the age of technology. It was not the age of independence or human rights, which we talk about, which we do today. Whatever we do is only because of the contribution of these great souls. Okay, so Gandhiji's definition, I really love this, and he says, women, okay, are disciplined soldiers of Indian freedom. Mind you, whenever we discuss Indian freedom, we also have to remember, when men fought on the war front, when men were on the battlefield, women were at the hearth. They were cooking, they were supplying food, they were underground, they were looking after the kids, they were motivating, they were inspiring, they were protecting their families. So it was not just one thing that women did. I don't think so. I just want to speak my heart out here, talking about what sort of contribution women have done. What is the real worth of a woman in this freedom struggle? But I have my own limitations at this moment. But I definitely would like to talk about Usha Mehta, who set up a radio transmitter underground, okay? And she was called the Voice of Freedom to disseminate information in Quit India movement. There are many such names which will be spoken about. I have also mentioned Matangini, Hazra, Aruna Safali. Okay, there are many more names to it, but I'm just highlighting a few of them. Now, I'm sorry for the slides. I did not find much time to really do a very good slide. Baizabai. Now, I have put a portrait, a photograph of Baizabai here, because you can just see she is not apart from her culture. She's wearing all the ornaments. She's decked up with the ornaments. She's wearing a nawari. She's carrying her culture. She's carrying her tradition. And along with that, the sense of responsibility, the sense of giving, the sense that yes, we are also responsible for certain things in the society. She belonged to a royal lineage, of course. So, as I have put, she was born in Kagal, which is near Kolhapur, in 1784. And her parents were members of the nobility from the noble family. They were working under the aegis of Bhonsle, okay, Bhosle, to be very simple, sovereigns of Kolhapur. In February 1798, at the age of 14, just try to understand, okay, when we call our kids, 14 years means maybe in 8th standard, okay, when you still pamper your child, when you still pamper giving chocolates and buying toys, at this age, at the age of 14, she was married. And she was married into a royal family to Daulat Rao Sindhia, the king of Gwalior, and became his favorite wife. So Baizabai and Daulat Rao betrothed several children. Sindhia sought Baizabai's wisdom. This is all okay. What really appealed to me as a reader, what really appealed to me, and why did I choose her more in a very prominent place, was just see the last lines on the slide. She was an adept horse rider, masterful swordswoman, and adroit spear wielder. When it comes to battlefield, when it comes to war, and when I say a lieutenant and a colonel, what comes to my mind is a man and not a woman. As the taboos are attached to genders, okay, or the stereotypes, I should say, rather, not taboos, the stereotypes which we distinguish the genders on. So when it comes to horse riding, a man, a sword, a man, needle, a woman, cooking, a woman, dance, a woman. But here, just see, in a girl who is born in the year 1784 was as prolific a horse rider, as skillful a swordswoman, and moreover, well-trained spear wielder. She was one of the few warriors who could well handle a firearm as well. Her contribution, all of y'all must read once. Her story, y'all must read once, so that you will be motivated. That if a woman can do that in 1784, a woman who was 1798, for example, has done so much, why can't we? There's no comparison. राजमाता राष्ट्रमाता जिजाऊ आईसाहेबांना आपण प्रत्येक जण महाराष्ट्रातले प्रत्येक जण आपण मानाचा मुजरा करतो. क्रांतिज्योती सावित्रीबाई फुले. I'm shifting my language just for all those who are Marathi speakers. I'll definitely go back to Hindi and English. Not Hindi, English. Hindi, I'm terrible in Hindi, I feel. So, राजमाता राष्ट्रमाता जिजाऊ आईसाहेब, क्रांतिमाई, रमाबाई आंबेडकर, अशा अनेक स्त्रियांची नावं आपण इथे डेफिनेटली घेऊ शकतो. त्यांच्याविषयी भरभरून बोलू शकतो. खूप काही सांगू शकतो. कारण की त्यांनी जे आज आपल्याला दिलंय, जो अंधकार आपल्या आयुष्यातून आज नाहीसा झालेला आहे, यामध्ये यांचं जितकं मोलाचं योगदान आहे, मला असं वाटतं की ते जर नसतं तर आज कदाचित आपणही या परिस्थितीमध्ये किंवा या उच्च पदावर आज आपण कदाचित नसतो, असं मला वारंवार वाटतं. ओके, सो लेट मी कम बैक टू इंग्लिश. मेरी हिंदी काफी खराब है, ऐसे मुझे लगता है, इसीलिए मैं हिंदी ज्यादा यूज नहीं करूंगी. मुझे इंग्लिश में बात करना ज्यादा पसंद रहेगा, या तो मराठी में. हिंदी बात कर सकती हूँ, बट आई डोंट थिंक सो कि यहाँ पे कोई भी हिंदी भाषिक है. मेरे अल्फाज इतने साफ नहीं है, मेरे लफ्ज जो मैं यहाँ पे बोलूंगी वो भी शायद इतने, जिसको बोलते हैं तेज तर्रार होने चाहिए, वो नहीं है. इसके लिए मैं हिंदी ज्यादा अच्छा नहीं बोल सकती हूँ, ऐसे मुझे खुद को लगता है. इसीलिए मैं मेरे लहजे में रह के मराठी या इंग्लिश में ही बात करूंगी. आई शुड नॉट क्रॉस माई लिमिट्स देयर. ओके, सो please read about Baizabai and her contribution. Somebody like Godavari Parulekar, how can you forget? How can you forget Godavari Parulekar? Because her contribution to all those Adivasis, those tribal girls, those tribal women, and her contribution to Wada, Jawar, Mukhada, Shahapur, Shivre, Khardi. Okay, these are the places which I am mentioning. They are in the Thane district. Now Palghar is made a separate district, but her contribution to women out there goes, and it has set a milestone for millions of Adivasi girls to come out of the four walls, the watertight compartments, and stand on their own. So Godavari Parulekar, I always admired. Okay, born on August 14, 1907, she got married to Shamrao Parulekar. So I just chose her because to be discussed here, because she irresistibly was drawn to freedom struggle and plunged into individual satyagraha. She has done individual satyagrahas, and for the same she was convicted by the British regime in 1932. She was put behind the bars. She was in cell. Okay, and after her release from jail, her father was also a political activist, a political leader, very moderate. He did not allow her to enter the house. She was incensed and he refused to accept her. Thereafter, she came to Bombay, and from there onwards, she came in touch with Gopal Krishna Gokhale, and from there, her life totally changed. How breaking all the norms, the taboos, the cultural stigmas that are attached to when a woman goes out, okay, of the family, or a woman is on the forefront of the battle, how she is not accepted and supported by her own family. Mind y'all, this fight for freedom was not an individual fight she had to really face. It was a fight with her own near and dear ones. It was a fight with her own family. And it was a fight with all those evil or all those traditions which were not acceptable to be treated to any, as a treatment to any human being. So Godavari Parulekar brought all the Adivasis together. You will find many books written on Godavari Parulekar. You will also find a college in her name. And that is why I feel the contribution of these women, or the contribution of these activists or the freedom fighters, cannot really go unnoticed. And that is why my appeal to all of you from other states is try to find out women contributors or freedom fighters or women who took part in the freedom movement from your own state. let it become a sort of journey for all of us to understand what our own women, our own mothers, our own sisters, our own, near and dear females have done to us. Try to understand that. Because once we do that, I think we'll have a much more rich history than what we have at this moment. Ushabai Dange, okay, she was called Tai, which is a very respectable and a revered word for a sister, elder sister basically. So she was born in Colaba district of Bombay in 1898. Now, she was married to a very prolific, a very prominent vegetarian leader of CPI and Communist Trade Union leader of Bombay, textile workers movement. I hope you know S.A. Dange, who played a very significant role. And she was arrested for her participation in the workers' struggle when the British ruled India. So many such names which have really gone with the stride, okay, we have lost them. We have to again revive. Now this one woman, I think a very very close, she's very close to my heart because you'll find many YouTube videos of this woman, Hausa Bai Patil. She's now known as Hausa Tai. In between, during the Kargil war also, she had given a message to all the warriors out there about how to fight, about chivalry, about bravery, about the strength, about how to be focused, and about nationalism and patriotism. See, friends, all of us, our generations back, have suffered colonialism. Our generations back have suffered exploitation. They were suppressed, they were humiliated, they were treated in a terrible way, animalistic way. Okay. Apart from all these things, there were a handful of them who fought for us. There were these who were torchbearers to all of us, and that is why I feel we could pave the way through the difficult times. Okay, and the tide is all over now. Now it is time to flourish in a way wherein the generations to come will remember us. So here, between 1943 and 1946, Hausabai was part of teams of revolutionaries that attacked British trains, looted police armors, and set ablaze dark bungalows that the British used for administration purposes and even as courtrooms. I very vividly, very obviously remember one incident which I read about Hausabai Patil. They wanted to loot a police station. Okay, Hausabai and her teammates wanted to loot a police station because they got the news that there are 4 rifles in the police station. And they decided the plan was there were 2 men, so one will pretend to be her husband and the other would pretend to be her brother. So there would be a fight which would go, there would be quarrel between the husband and wife, okay, wherein the husband would beat Hausabai and beat so badly, okay, that the police would come out from the police station and try to resolve the matter, okay. So this was the plan, and as decided, the plan went on. And Hausabai was beaten terribly by this fellow colleague of her, and her brother stood there. And then this fellow picks up a stone and he says, "Now I will kill you. आता मी तुला सोडणार नाही, तुला जिवंत सोडणार नाही." So then at that moment, the police rush out from their police station and then they try to, just settle the matter. And during this span, there are other fellow, colleagues with them, friends with them, or activists with them who rob those 4 rifles and run. And the best part was the police, they don't want anything untoward to happen. So they buy a ticket for Hausabai and her husband. They reconcile them and they send them to the railway station. So much. So the ticket is also given to them by the police. So that incident I have heard long back. So I don't think so. Without valor or without the zest or without mirth or courage or determination or being focused or being very, very sure about what you are doing, you can have so much. And the thrashing that she had was real. Okay, the thrashing that she had was real. So you can just imagine the pain she must have undergone at that moment. So she worked with the Tufan Sena, okay, Worldville Army, a revolutionary group that served as the armed wing of the Prati Sarkar or Provisional Underground Government of Satara that declared independence from British rule in 1943. Isn't this amazing? each one fighting for their own part, their little part, and a larger India. Okay. Now, I think Dr. Kranti, in her introductory speech, has already mentioned these names: Bhima Bai Holkar, okay, then Rani Lakshmi Bai, and Sarojini Naidu. Now, friends, all of us have learned about them, about their contribution in our history books. Now, Bhima Bai Holkar's contribution and her participation in the freedom struggle, okay, well ahead, okay, as Dr. Kranti has mentioned, in 1817, well ahead, 30, 35 years, 40 years ahead of the independence, okay, when Bhima Bai Holkar battled against the British colonel Malcolm and vanquished him in guerrilla fighting, the guerrilla tactics that she used, and that is how they lost the battle, okay. Then Rani Lakshmi Bai. Rani of Jhansi, Rani Lakshmi Bai, as we all know, we know her for her bravery, we know her for her chivalry, we know her for her gallantry, and we also know her leadership. So, without without the history or the reality that we have, if we don't try to analyze and understand it or put it in front of the next generation, I think this would not pass on. We have to do it. Okay. Then Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu had, like, who is known as the Nightingale of India. She was recognized as an artist, a poet, and moreover, I think her close relationship and the literary love or the literary affiliation that she had with various political leaders, especially Gandhiji and even Nehru. The sort of letters that are available online, if you try to read, they're fantastic letters. Try to understand the language of the letter. The language is the words used are very easy. The language is very lucid, but the message is so effective that you cannot ignore it. Okay, so Sarojini Naidu was chosen as the leader of Indian National Congress, sensational gathering with another regarded. She was another, a pioneer, I can call, or time call. Like all of us know, time immemorable. We have called her the Nightingale. We have also called her the pioneer of the Indian National, as the leader of Indian National Congress, and moreover. The contribution that she has done or her contribution would definitely be remembered for the ages to come through the literature that she has reproduced, through the poems that she has written for her, the letter that she has written to Gandhiji, and the reply that she has got from Gandhiji. Okay? I'm not going into any political conflict here. So Kasturba Gandhi, I don't think so. Without mentioning her name and her contribution, this conference can really see the day of the light in the real sense of the word. So Kasturba Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi's spouse, joined her better half, and I hope, I'm sure you all know her contribution because she was also put behind the bar. She also was punished. She was also reprimanded for a long time. Okay, she was a pioneer of women's satyagraha for which she was detained. She was put behind the bars. She helped her better half on account of indigo labor in Champaran. Okay, we all know because none of us can forget Champaran, and at no expense can we really forget her contribution in the campaign of Kaira, Gujarat. So she was captured twice to picket alcohol and remote material shops, and in 1939 for taking part in the Rajkot Satyagraha. Madam Kama, I love this lady for being so intelligent, for being so futuristic, for being so determined in what she wanted. She had a very clear vision, I felt. When I was preparing for this lecture, I felt Madam Kama had a very futuristic vision. She had a scientific approach to her thought because she was the one who Madam Kama battled for the freedom of the nation till the end, and that too in a specific manner. The best part, she was very progressive, as I said. She was very intelligent. What really, made me feel so much love for her was that she spread out the main national flag at the International Socialist Congress conference in Stuttgart, Germany, in 1907. And it's, if you see the flag, I wanted to put the image. I did not put it here, but you just see the image of the flag that she's spreading. She's holding it in her hand, and it's wonderful. Okay, it's wonderful because it represents the secular India that we all are living in. You just see that flag, it's readily available online. You may just see it. Oh, so why is the slide? Oh, sorry, I'm entering it, so it's getting blank. Okay. Then Begum Hazrat Mahal. Okay. The Indian freedom fighter who assumed a noteworthy job amid India's first war of independence, and she was also called as the Begum of Awadh. She, her contribution basically, she drove a band of her supporters against the British and even ready to grab the control of Lucknow. A very chivalrous lady, a very brave lady, and she worked in shared relationship with different leaders of India's first war of independence. There is a lot which goes about Begum Hazrat Mahal. If you want to really dig the history, please read about her so that you will understand what I'm trying to tell. Who doesn't know Aruna Safali? All of us as children have loved Aruna Safali. We have learned her at an early age. So Aruna Safali, an extreme nationalist, assumed an exceptional job, and her contribution to Quit India movement was not only propelled, but it was paralleled by what Honorable Mahatma Gandhi has done. And more than that, she went from place to place, from door to door, not only informing, intimating, but also motivating people, okay, about the entire and the khadi, basically the khadi movement that we have, where people were requested by Gandhiji to wear only khadi. So there too you'll find many of these activists went door to door selling khadi saris, selling khadi kurtas. This is jotted down in the history. So she altered Inqilab, a month-to-month diary of the Indian National Congress as well. So she was Dr. Aruna Safali. So her contribution definitely is immense as far as the history of the freedom struggle goes. So Annie Besant, the Irish lady, the pioneer of the Theosophical Society, joined the Indian National Congress, which also gave it a different bearing altogether. And she was the primary women leader of the Congress, as we all know, because Annie Besant, Dr. Annie Besant's contribution when it comes to the Home Rule League also is noteworthy. She also began a daily newspaper, New India. I think my time is already over and I'm exceeding the time, but just 2 minutes, I think more, I'll finish it up. So she began a daily newspaper, New India, criticized British control and was imprisoned for this rebellion against the British because she wrote openly in this paper, which was named as New India. Annie Besant wrote fearlessly about, and she criticized the British government, the British rule at that moment, and that is why she was put behind the bars. She was imprisoned. Now, Madam Bhikaji Kama, whose photo I again found on Facebook on one of the sites. Preeti Lata Vadedar, whose contribution, there are many more, I have made many slides, so I don't think so I'll talk much, but Kalpana Datta also, and these two women have contributed immensely to the Indian freedom struggle. There are many, the list goes on and on and on. I cannot say that these are the only women who have contributed. Each and every woman of the time has contributed, because had they not contributed, we would not have been where we are. And that is why I feel the contribution of all these women out is exemplary. Okay, so the history of Indian freedom struggle would be fragmented or it would be scattered without mentioning the contributions of many women who had done a gallant job in Indian freedom movement. So women's participation in India's freedom struggle right from 1817 with Bhima Bai Holkar, who fought. Then again, I wanted to talk about other states also. Like you have Rani Chinnamma of Kittur, then Rani Begum Hazrat Mahal, as Tanti Madam has already mentioned. The leaders like Hazrat Mahal, Rani Lakshmi Bai, Jhalkari. I forgot to mention Jhalkari because I wanted to talk about Jhalkari, but I am not now accommodating her at this moment. I'm very sorry for that. But Jhalkari Bai, of course, has to be mentioned in all such events, because without enduring the pain, the suffering, the imprisonment, the physical, the mental trauma these women have gone through, the inevitable deaths that we have seen in various incidents like the Jallianwala Bagh, all such things when we speak about again and again, I feel history teaches us a lot along with literature. So a lot can go. We all can discuss this immensely on such platforms. And I think it would be wonderful if we can really come together very often on such platforms and discuss. Uh, I think I have taken a little longer than the time that was allotted to me. I'm sorry for that. But I think, yeah, I'm sorry for that because I have taken a little longer time than what was really allotted to me, Dr. Kranti. I would definitely say that the contribution of all these women uh, cannot go unnoticed. If you try to reach the fathom of the reality, if you try to dig the graves of these women, I think they will be still alive in their graves, waiting for each one of us to say that yes, we not only revere you, we not only respect you, but we also would like to be you, be like you, patriotic, nationalistic, and moreover social, wherein we can really contribute to the progression of this country. So let me put on record my thanks to Dr. Kranti More for inviting me, also to Avasti sir, and all those behind the curtain who are working for this. Thank you, Ramakant Ghadge sir, for being here in the entire lecture. I'm yes. There are many whom I know, I think, here, but keeping the time constraint in mind, I haven't covered many of them. State-wise, if I had to go and to speak about, I wanted to speak about many of them, but I didn't speak. All women out there and all men out there, it is, I think, a unified contribution that makes a nation. It's not just a man or a woman. It is we. It is not I or you. It is we who united make this contribution. So thank you so much. Thank you for being with me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I would like to encapsulate some points from the keynote address. That Madam said that every day woman, and we should distinguish the fact and fiction. And she mentioned that women are a disciplined soldier of India. So India got the independence. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your detailed keynote address with examples chronologically. Now, may I request academic leader, dynamic principal, Dr. Rajendra Prasad Avasti, sir, for a presidential address to the national conference. Please, sir.
Thank you so much, R.C. Jadhav, sir, for your words. So first of all, very good afternoon to one and all. So on the occasion of this national conference on contribution of women in Indian freedom struggle, organized by English Department and Internal Quality Assurance Department, the keynote addressee, a very intellectual personality to whom I heard first time, Dr. Madhavi Nikam Madam, the convener of this conference, a very dynamic one woman army, Dr. Kranti More Madam, the head of the English Department, Dr. R.C. Jadhav sir, my colleague, my friend, Vice Principal, Dr. Ramakant Ghadge, the coordinator of ICWAC, Dr. P.T. Pawar, all the resource persons, participants, delegate, student fellow, research students. First of all, a very warm welcome to you all in this conference, and thanks for registration of 140 participants, and we received 70 research papers. So this is all credit goes to the organizer and the participants. First of all, I must congratulate to you. And also I'm congratulating to the organizer for organizing such a nice online conference in a very shortest possible time. Of course, she has mentioned, Dr. Kranti has mentioned, it is the teamwork in our college who supported her a lot. And because of that, she could make this event very successful. I think this is a second time we are holding such kind of conference on the same theme. First, we have taken in Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav, where we have also discussed some unsung women freedom fighter, and this is the second time. And really, I am very much thankful to Nikam Madam. She has given a good insight about the torch bearer, unsung women freedom fighter. In a previous webinar, what I have heard, those freedom fighters were different. This time, it has added in my knowledge something new. What she has given or in her lecture. So it is very true in the introductory speech. Dr. Kranti More Madam has mentioned so many freedom fighters, women freedom fighters. And Nikam Madam also uttered one word which has appealed me and which has very impressed me. Every day is a Women's Day. It is very true. Why this United Nation has made this appeal, International Women's Day on this 8 March as International Women's Day? Because in India, every day is Women's Day. If we forget our mother, nothing will be remained in our life. She has well said mentioned about the Rajmata, Rashtramata Jijau. Without her, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj will not be there, and what Hindu Swaraj they have established, that cannot be possible. Then we have to mention also about the Bhuvaneshwari Devi, the mother of Swami Vivekananda. Vivekananda has given a very good message to all over the world regarding the youth development and Indian tradition and customs. I must worth mention about Dr. Nikam Madam started from the Rukmini Bai Raut, and she has taken an account of these warriors right from the Raut Madam to up to Titi Lata Baddedar. See, what we have seen, these are the ladies from a different fraternity, different groups, different caste, creeds, but their aim is only one, that is the freedom of India. For what they have contributed without any condition, unconditionally, they have contributed a lot in this regard. So we should not forget their contribution, and this history should pass on. That is why we are holding such kind of conferences. I think the whole day deliberation will go on, and that will pass a very good message to the youngsters and next coming generation. But on this occasion, what the Dr. Nikam ma'am mentioned about the Rukmini Bai Raut, see what was the period 1889. At that time, she got her degree in medicine from out of country, and she serves in India. What kind of message this can give us? See, I'm not just discriminating the gender, but what kind of message is this? So the women, the girl students should come forward. We are working in a rural area where the honorable president of our institution, ex-MLA, Honorable Shivaji Rao Patil Kavekar sir, started this college without having any what is called the intention, just to give higher education to the girl students. And I am very proud to say the girls who studied in this college becomes the first mayor of Latur Municipal Corporation, Smita Khanapure. So such kind of what is called the person should come forward so as to pass on the message of this torch bearers, freedom fighter. And I will just suggest one thing over here. Now the things are
Sir, you are not audible.
I think there is some network issue. RC sir,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
could you please ask
Mm.
Dr. Awasthi sir?
I think there may be a network problem.
Okay.
Sir is recovering.
Yes. Okay. I think Dr. Gadge sir is.
केलं का चालू केले?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm
you are.
sorry, I have lost my connection. That's
Yes,
why I have sought the help of, as usual, Dr. R.V. Ghalge sir. What I want to suggest, 37% women are using internet in the India, and 259 million or fewer than that women have access to internet than men. Even though they account for nearly half the world population. What I mean to suggest, the future is it is not without STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So in the STEM related, there will be 75% job from this STEM. So the women should hold 22% of position in artificial intelligence. Right now, 22% positions are held by women in artificial intelligence. So that this figure should get more. That is, it should reach up to 50%. So we have to become a techno savvy or technologist. We have to learn this message from this kind of conference. So last and least, at the outset, I am very much thankful for the organizer for giving me a chance to preside over this inaugural function and to chair the first session. And I warm welcome to all the participants and delegates on behalf of my college and my society and on behalf of organizing committee. And thanks to Dr. Nikam madam for your keynote address. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your thorough presidential address, sir. Dr. Awasthi sir covered all points from introductory speech, keynote address, and given best wishes to all the participants and organizers. Thank you, sir. Now, we have reached to the last session of the inauguration program, that is vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere thanks today's guest of honor, Dr. Madhavi Nikam ma'am, for her delivering a keynote address and expect same help in future also. Then I would like to extend my sincere thanks to today's chairperson, Principal Dr. Rajendra Prasad Awasthi sir, for his thorough presidential address to the conference. Then I would like to sincere thanks Dr. P.T. Pawar sir, IQAC coordinator, Dr. Sheikh sir, the NAC coordinator, and all members of IQAC. I would like to sincere thanks all Vice Principals of the college, Dr. Ramakant Garge sir, Dr. Prakash Shinde sir, Dr. Ganesh Nagargode sir. I thanks technical staff of the college and non-teaching staff of the college. I sincere thanks all the staff members and those who have been directly and indirectly supported for organizing online national conference. So I thank you all participants of the conference and convener, Dr. Kranti ma'am. Again, I thank you all the participants and declare that the national conference is over. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Jadhav sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kanti
Very
ma'am.
nice conference.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikam ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Informative session.
Thank you all
Paper reading.
participants. Yes, sir.
More madam,
Yes, sir.
paper reading session.
Will be start at
Time is not
12:30.
there.
12:30.
We will
After the break,
retain
paper
the same.
session will be start.
I think there is problem in my network.
No. You are audible. You are audible.
Hello. We will resend the same link for the paper reading, and then we will start. Okay. The inauguration session is over here.
Inauguration session is
So
over.
Thank you
Now
very
you
much.
can leave the meeting.
Yes.
Thank you all the participants.